Hey everybody, what is up? It is almost Halloween and it is also my birthday week, which don't leave a comment down below wishing me a happy birthday or anything. It's not like I need it for validation. This video is also going to be a collaboration with one of my best friends, Loey Lane, or as you guys may know her, Doey Lame. She's going to be telling an insane story about when she was younger. She went to a church and she saw her first ghost, and it was like a really morbid scene. And actually, while we were FaceTiming talking about this collab, she found out so much more information about it. And we were like, oh, that's it. We need to collab now. All her descriptions are going to be down below. Don't forget to go check out her video. The story I'm going to be telling is actually about how my grandpa showed up in a Polaroid picture we took after he died. This is the Polaroid. I'm gonna get up close and personal with it later, but there's so much paranormal activity that led up to this picture and just so much stuff that I want to tell you guys before I get to that picture. And also I'm gonna do like a zoom in shot of that Polaroid and you guys will see it all. So basically when I was 4 turning 5, around the beginning of November actually, my grandpa passed away from cancer. And my family obviously is very close and we were all very devastated. I was very young, I was very upset, so my parents went out and they bought me these little frogs and they basically stayed in like this little cool tank that we had for them. It was 2 frogs and I accidentally left them outside one day in the scorching sun and they dried up and turned to dust and died. Which is really sad, it is. But later on that week I went to a birthday party. They had this huge bag filled with stuffed animals and you had to close your eyes and stick your hand in the bag and pull out a stuffed animal. What did I pull out? I pulled out a frog. Which I know you're saying like, okay, whatever, that's not that weird. But there was only 1 frog in there and I was saying like, this is from Grandpa. I kept on saying to my parents, this is from Grandpa. Grandpa sent this to me. And you know how younger kids have more of like a connection with spirits and stuff? So I just kept on telling everyone that my grandpa sent it to me because I just always felt like it was from my grandpa. About a week after he passed away, we were all at my grandma's house. She has a living room and then there's a staircase from the living room and on the other side of the house a staircase from the kitchen that meet on a landing, and then there's a staircase that goes upstairs from the landing. So I'm in the living room and all the parents and everything are in the kitchen and I'm sitting there and my dad worked nights. So it was like the evening and my dad went upstairs to sleep. All of a sudden I saw my grandpa follow him and I'm gonna answer like a lot of the questions that I normally get. He like had legs, he didn't look like Casper the Ghost. He was see-through and he followed my dad up a little less than a staircase behind him, and when he got to the landing he stopped and he looked at me and he smiled and then he kept on going upstairs. When I was younger, I was 4 turning 5, I didn't know that that was unheard of. So I went inside and I told everyone that I just saw my grandpa. I know this video is gonna come off as like I'm doing it for views, but these are stories that I've told my friends and my family ever since I'm younger, all throughout my whole entire life. This really happened. I never forgot the memory, frame by frame, like I never forgot it. I just remember it perfectly. There kept on being like a lot of activity, like paranormal activity with my grandpa and me, so my parents decided to contact John J. Edwards. Now, for those of you who don't know, he's like the biggest person in the world who speaks to the other side. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's a wait of like 5 years even just to talk to him, like on one of his shows or something like that. My parents contacted him. Now, through contacting him, he realized that my grandpa was showing so much activity that he had my parents over to his house. Like, he literally invited my parents over to his house in his basement to talk to them about my grandpa because that's how much activity my grandpa was showing. Now, when my parents got there, they never mentioned anything about anything, really. They just said, you know, that he passed away, blah, blah, blah. And he wound up telling them that the frog was really from my grandpa. Like, he specifically said that he was getting signals of a frog and that my grandpa wanted one of his grandchildren to have it. He also said that I really did see him on the staircase, and the reason why he came to me and no one else is because I was the youngest grandchild and he had the least amount of time with me, which I thought was so cool, and it was just so refreshing because then everyone believed me. Because again, no one mentioned any of this to John Edwards, and there was no social media or anything. This was back in the mid-early 90s. And so he validated me, which I loved. Thank you, Grandpa. I love my validation. But then things started getting crazy. My grandpa was my dad's dad, but when he passed away, my mom wrote him a letter and she put it in his suit jacket when he was in the casket at the funeral. She just put it in there so like he would always have it when he was buried and stuff. The letter basically said how she always looked at him like a father, blah, 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 all that stuff. Really nice stuff, whatever. John Edwards not only mentioned this letter to my mom, but he read the letter to my mom. Keep in mind, this letter was put in my grandpa's suit jacket and buried under the ground forever. And John Edwards read the letter to my mom. Okay. He also said so many other things, like he told everyone to look for the bird in the window, and everyone was so confused what he meant by that. But basically my grandma always had a crystal bird hanging from the string that turns on the fan. It went missing after my grandpa died. Like, it just went missing, no one could find it. Also, we were just confused, like, where did it go? Because it was there for years. And he told us to look for the bird in the window. So my mom went to wash her hands in the kitchen. She looked on the windowsill and there was the crystal bird sitting right in front of the sink on the windowsill. Everyone looked for it for weeks and weeks. If it was sitting right on the windowsill in front of the kitchen sink, someone would have seen it. It just appeared there after he told us to look for the bird in the window. There are so many weird things. My parents wound up visiting John J. Edwards 4 times, and there's just so many things throughout the years that my grandpa has done. Creepy, funny, weird things that we found out. If you guys do want to see another video of all that stuff, don't forget to give this a thumbs up and I'll do it. You don't have to. I'm not doing this video for views or thumbs up. I'm doing it because these are all the stories that I tell my friends throughout the years, and I consider you guys my friends, so I want you guys to know it as well. If you do want to give this video a thumbs up, it does help. Again, you don't have to. It's fine. Okay. Now we're gonna get to the main point of this video, which is this Polaroid. I'm gonna move the camera and do a close-up, and like I won't be in it, but we moved to this house in like the late 90s, so it was years and years ago. My parents weren't sure if moving here was the right decision. Me and my brother were so upset. We didn't want to leave Staten Island where we grew up. We just really weren't sure, and it was a few years after my grandpa had passed away. My parents said to my grandpa, they just said, please dad, like if this is the right decision, let us know. And with their Polaroid camera, they took a picture of the living room, the empty living room, which turned out to be this picture. The second it developed, they saw my grandpa in it right away, and every person we've ever shown this picture to knows it's my grandpa. It's gonna be harder for you guys to notice because like you don't know his build, you don't know how he stood. Like it looks like his hand is up and like he was always smoking a cigar. But then there's my dad / grandpa's face on the bottom, so that's really weird. And that's like way more clear than my actual grandpa in the picture. So I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys that really quick. Okay guys, so basically this is the Polaroid. Don't look at my thumbnails, they're absolutely disgusting, or any of my fingernails for that matter. So this is where my grandpa appeared, and it's really hard to see on here, but I do have it on my phone where obviously my phone is a light, so it's like lit up and it's easier to see, so I'll show you that. So this is the Polaroid just on my phone. So there he is, like standing there. It looks like this hand is down and this arm is up. I know it's harder for you guys to see, but this arm is up, smoking a cigar, we always say, because that's what it looks like. He clearly has legs, but then it's so hard to see on here. I'm so annoyed. Over here is my dad's literal face, which my dad and my grandpa looked exactly the same, so I just say my dad, but it's also my grandpa. That is literally my dad's face. I don't know if you guys could see it, but basically on the right side is the nose, the ear right here, the nose, the mouth, the chin right here, the eyes, the hairline, the hair. You guys need to know what my dad looks like in order to be like, oh my god, this is like Andrew's dad and grandpa. That looks exactly like him. It's actually insane. This was just a normal Polaroid of a room. It's just crazy that this stuff even appeared. Like, that's just so weird to me. And if any of you want to see this picture up close, DM me on Instagram. I'll be happy to DM the picture of you so you could zoom in up close and examine it yourself. My Instagram's gonna be in the description below. And yeah, I hope you guys see it too. If not, I will be happy to point out like my dad's features and everything via Instagram. So yeah, if you guys did like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I'm sorry it wasn't as funny as my usual videos, but I thought it was really interesting, especially for the Halloween spirit. Thank you, Grandpa, for giving me content. You're still slaying the game up there in heaven. I love you. If you want to see more videos about like things John J. Edwards said or more like paranormal things that my grandpa has done with us, leave a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so I don't have to be a server anymore because I hate my job. Thanks. Remember, this is a collab with one of my best friends, Loeys, so go check out her video. It's insane, her story time. I'm not even kidding. She told me yesterday and like I had insane goosebumps. Go check that out. Her links are going to be in the description below. I love her. You will too. You probably already know her because she made me. But yeah, until next week, I will see you guys next week. Bye.